Hi guys, Sci-Fi Recapped here. Before we start, warning. Spoilers ahead. Today, I'm gonna explain a 2022 psychological thriller movie called Orphan, First Kill. In Estonia, 2007, a young woman named Anna arrives at the Sarn Institute, an Estonia mental hospital. It's her first day working as an art therapy instructor and she seems uneasy when she enters the building for the first time. Later, she is welcomed by the head of the institute, Dr. Novotny, who gives her a brief explanation about the security procedure. Suddenly, the situation becomes tense and the place goes into lockdown when a doctor informs them that their most dangerous patient has escaped from her room. For her safety, Dr. Novotny locks Anna inside a dark room until everything is secured. There, Anna encounters a young girl who introduces herself as Lena Klamer. Despite her body size and baby face, Anna becomes very terrified as she realizes that Lena is the patient the doctors are looking for. Before Lena can attack Anna with her pencil, the doctors break into the room and take the patient back into custody. Anna is shocked after knowing that the most violent patient in the mental institute is actually a child, but Dr. Novotny later explains that Lena, who is actually a 31-year-old grown woman, suffers a gland disorder, causing her body to stop growing at a certain age. He continues that 2 years ago Lena used her body advantage to get adopted into a happy family. At some point, she attempted to seduce the father of the family, but failed. Because of that, she murdered the whole family and was sent to the Sarn Institute. Lastly, the doctor tells Anna that Lena has scars around her neck and wrists because of being restrained. That night, a hospital attendant named Dmitry comes across Lena's cell to deliver a package. She notices that Dmitry has a feeling towards her, so she convinces him to come into the cell. Lena attempts to tease him until she catches him off guard, then she ruthlessly smashes his head against the wall. Afterwards, she steals his ID card and begins to make her way out. Just before she reaches the exit door, a security guard confronts her. Lena orders another patient to attack the guard and subsequently gives her a candy as a reward. Outside the building, Anna sees Lena escaping and immediately returns to the hospital. Feeling horrified, she quits the job on the first day. Anna returns home and somehow her car trunk suddenly opens, but she finds no one there. As she gets into the house, Lena greets him and hits him in the head. Lena goes upstairs and uses Anna's computer to go through a missing child database until she finds Esther, a missing girl who Lena closely resembles. As she makes her way out, she figures out that Anna is still alive, thus she ends her life in the most miserable way. Not long after, she is found by the local officer in the middle of the snow. Using the information she got earlier, she admits that her name is Esther and her parents are in America. Meanwhile, in a coastal town called Darien, Trika and Alan are attending a fencing competition to support their elder son, Gunnar. Turns out that they are Esther's parents and the couple, especially the husband, are still in grief since their daughter's disappearance. Suddenly, Donan, a detective who has been working on Esther's case, meets the couple to tell them that their daughter has been found. Trika immediately flies to Russia to pick up her daughter, who turns out to be Lena, the fake Esther. Trika is so excited with the return of her daughter and flies back to the US the next day. On their way, Trika shows Lena a photograph of her grandmother. Lena answers that she can't wait to see her again, but turns out that she had passed away. The mother becomes a little bit suspicious and Lena immediately goes to the restroom to calm herself down. Long story short, they arrive and the family finally reunites again. However, Gunnar seems unhappy with the fact that her sister has come back to the family. Lena sees her new house for the first time, trying to adapt with the new environment. The next day, the fake Esther is brought to Dr. Seeger, who performs some psychological tests on her. However, Lena suddenly stands up and awkwardly talks to the parrot and calls it Sydney, which grows suspicion on the doctor because it is not the same bird. While waiting outside the room, Lena deliberately spills a drink to the assistant and then eavesdrops on the conversation between Trika and Dr. Seeger. The doctor tells the mother that there are some behavioral changes. Lena then makes a scene, accusing a boy of ripping her dress. On their way, Lena spots Donan taking pictures of them from a distance. At home, Alan takes Lena to his art studio where he shows her some of his masterpieces. She admits that she has interest in arts and requests to draw a portrait of Alan, which he agrees to. Moments later, Alan is amazed by the result and intends to teach her more about painting. That evening, Trika sneaks into Lena's room and attempts to read her Bible, but the fake Esther immediately runs towards her and grabs the book. After the mother leaves, she finds Esther's diary. She learns about Esther's personality and tries to mimic her. During the family dinner, Donan shows up to make sure that everything is alright. Lena, who feels uneasy with his presence, hides in the kitchen while overhearing the conversation. Afraid that her real identity will be exposed, she steals jewelry and plans to run away from the house. However, she eventually decides to stay longer as she wants to get closer to Alan. Few days later, when the couple is about to get intimate, Lena suddenly walks across the room and gets jealous of them. She then rips Trisha's dress for her gala. Still that night, Alan and Trisha attend a gala for Trisha's work, so Gunnar invites his friends over for a party. Meanwhile, Donnan stops by the house, telling Gunnar that he wants to use the bathroom. Instead, he sneaks into Lena's room to collect some samples. Lena observes him from a distance and decides to follow him home. Alan and Trisha come back home earlier than expected. Trisha goes to Lena's room and reads his Bible diary, finding out that the book belongs to the Sarn Institute, as well as Donnan's home address. Donnan learns that Lena's fingerprint does not match Esther's fingerprint, but before he can reveal the fact to the parents, he is stabbed multiple times by Lena. Surprisingly, Trisha appears out of nowhere and shoots the detective to death. Shortly after, Lena reveals her true identity to Trisha, who is not impressed at all because she has known about her whole ruse all along. Turns out that the real Esther was accidentally killed by Gunnar and Trisha helped her son to cover it up by dumping her body down to a bunker. She tells Lena that the only reason she keeps going along with Lena's trick is because of Alan. The women eventually throw Donnan's corpse into the same bunker, send an email to his superior, and subsequently agree to work together until a mutually beneficial arrangement is met. When they return home, Trisha and Lena act like nothing's happened. Still that night, Trisha tells Gunnar the truth, who disagrees to live longer with Lena. The following day, Trisha guides Esther on how to act like the real Esther by telling her Esther's old memories. They return to Dr. Seeger's place where she manages to convince the doctor with her stories. Back at the house, Gunnar confronts Lena in her room, making it clear that he owns her, only to get slapped twice in the face. Before family dinner, Trisha pours a large dose of her sleeping pills in Lena's food. Lena gets suspicious and decides to take it to her room. Instead of eating the mac and cheese, she gives it to the rat. Afterwards, Alan invites her to join him working while showing her the art of blacklight effect painting. When Alan is away, Trisha appears and tells Lena to stay away from her husband, because he will never be hers. Before going to sleep, Lena notices that the rat has died due to overdose and eventually realizes that Trisha is up to something. In the morning, Lena surprisingly prepares breakfast for the family. She also gives her mother a special smoothie with a dead rat inside it. The family goes to the train station to accompany Alan before he departs to work. At some point, Lena attempts to push Trisha and Gunnar onto the railways, but fails. As soon as Alan enters the train, Trisha tells Lena that it's her time to finish her off. However, Lena manages to break free and sprays Gunnar with pepper sprays. She then steals Trisha's car and drives away. In the middle of the road, she is stopped by police and escorted back home. In the house, Gunnar and Trisha can't take it anymore and plan to eliminate her. They confront Lena in her room where Gunnar grabs her and the mother attempts to cut her off. Unfortunately, Lena manages to break free, but is chased by Gunnar. He accidentally pushes her off the stairs, thinking that she's dead already. Meanwhile, Alan informs his wife that he'll come home early, which makes the situation worse for them. Shortly after, Lena goes missing and Gunnar is told to finish her off. He chases her alone to Alan's studio where she shoots him with a crossbow, then stabbing him ruthlessly to death. Trisha sees the crime and becomes very enraged. She chases Lena all over the house, wreaking havoc on the kitchen. The fight sets the house on fire, but Trisha ignores it and keeps chasing the psychopath to the roof. As the women fight on the roof, Alan arrives at the house and follows them to the rooftop. Alan is forced to make a hard decision, and he eventually decides to save Lena from falling in time, sacrificing her own wife who falls and smashes her head on the pavement. Not long after, Lena's fake teeth fall out, which makes Alan freak out. Lena eventually pushes him off the roof, killing him as well. A few moments later, as the house is fully burned, Lena walks out of the house and fools the authorities by pretending to be Esther. Sometimes later, Lena is brought to Dr. Seeger who decides to search for new foster parents for her. Subscribe to watch more videos like this, turn on notifications, and leave a like to help the channel out. Thank you for watching.